What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. I am Joe at Faithful_Irish on the X, proudly part of Dos Leprechauns Media. Thank you to everyone listening live via the space on X and watching the stream live on YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy we are part of your night, your Tuesday night, the inaugural first round, or well, not first round, but first series of playoff rankings for the 2025 season. And spoiler alert, Notre Dame is number 10. So same as what the AP put us. And we'll go through that quickly. So thank you so much. And a couple other things we're going to talk about. Obviously, the Boston College game, our lack of a kicking game, and just some other stuff that's going on in college football. And we have a little stat piece about the Boston College game to kind of calm everybody down about what the hell happened in that game, because it was probably the most frustrating game we had to watch of this season. So thank you, everyone, who's making me part of your night. Let's jump quickly over to Mac here. Let's invite him to speak. And let's bring up your walk-up music, Mac, because that's just what we do here, right? What's up, Mac?
Hello, how are you?
What's up, man? I'm happy we're 10th in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's nice. I mean, a lot better than September, right? But
Yeah.
hey, as Brian Kelly would say, and I know how everyone feels about Brian Kelly, but this is true. It's not what you do in September; it's what you did in November.
Well, and I think the recency bias is clearly, happening right now. I've got a little thing here about that with respect to what's going on in college football. And definitely, and that's also how Sagarin works. It weighs your more recent games, more than the early games, right? Like it puts more weight on them. Like how are you as a team doing now, right?
Well, that's why I really believe, and this is just me, especially now that it's becoming more. The product is having more and more money, and the players are becoming more and more treated like professional athletes.
Right.
It only makes sense to have a preseason game or
yeah.
something. You know what I mean? Like
a warm-up game, like Navy this week. Yeah.
Well, but that, no, but that's not fair to Navy. I don't want to make fun of Navy because
I mean, we will talk about the stats later.
I'm a Navy. I come from a Navy family. And in fact, two Annapolis.
My brother's in the Air Force, so does that make me an Air Force family? I don't.
It has to, yes.
I think by default it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm. And anyway, we know why the beautiful history between the two teams and the love. I mean, look, there's a love. If you love Notre Dame, you have to love the Navy because they helped us stay open. So.
Yeah, I know, but sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Like, if I
don't need to guilt trip myself every year though. Every time we play them, right?
Guilt, that's part of being Catholic, Joe.
Well, I understood, but I also know that when you go to confession, your sins are forgotten and God doesn't remember them.
Kidding.
So
it's
I have this in the notes. It's near the bottom. Okay, but we're gonna move it up to the top and put a check next to it. I said this in season 1. Here we are, season 6, episode 15, volume 167 of all time. And I'm pretty sure I said this my first year, definitely the first time we played. Well, we didn't play Navy my first year because that was the COVID year. But I have always said that we need to put Navy on a rotation with the other academies. It's not that I don't want to play them every year. It's just just put the other academies on there too. Just put them on a rotation, and then it kind of just mixes it up, makes it a little more interesting, and whatnot, right? So that's just my opinion.
I get that.
So it's like, and the main reason for that is I don't like the years where we play 2 or 3 academies in the same season. That's just not good. So, Grant, is it much worse than playing Bowling Green and New Mexico in the same season like we did in 2019? Okay, maybe not, but you get my point here. It's like,
Yeah.
we're not in a conference. We're an independent team. We probably should disassociate ourselves from this ACC nonsense because the officiating is very suspect lately.
Yes.
And so I got to get that out of there. I think we should put Navy on a rotation with the other academies just to mix it up.
That's fair. I do want to say one thing, and this is the only thing I have to say about the Navy game. But then I want to talk about the Boston College game.
Okay.
If it is 25-10 and there's 5 minutes left to go, and we are going for it on 4th down, I won't. I will not be happy. One, it's 25-10, and your defense is rolling. Mm-hmm. And 2, I don't want to. 2, so I don't think strategically it's the right move. But I get if you want to. The only reason you do it is if you want to run up the score, and I don't want them to run up a score. But you
should. Like, you need style points.
I understand.
Notre Dame is the only 2-loss team right now, quote unquote, in the playoffs here. Well, I mean, I guess there's Texas and Oklahoma in there in the 11-12 space, but
as far as it goes to the Naval Academy, I don't want them to do that to those young men, because those are men. I don't want to run up the score on Navy. Those young men are going to fight for us.
Well, but they're not today. They're on the other side of the line, right? Like we can hold hands and be gentlemen, after 60 minutes expires. But in that space of 60 minutes, well, that's fine. That's why you played baseball, right? I played football. The point I'm making is, like, in that 60-minute span, you are my adversary and we are doing battle. I am literally trying to tackle you and put your body into the ground. Okay. That is not a nice thing to do. And you do not do that half-ass. All right. So again, this is no disrespect to our service men and women. Well, at least in this case, they should be men probably playing football. But the point I'm making is this is a football game. That's another football team, and I don't care, that my tax dollars are paying for their education and for them to be there. Sidebar: because of the government shutdown, is Notre Dame like paying for this game, like paying for the airfare? Like, how's this working? I'm a little fuzzy on how this works with,
They probably got the money dispersed.
And it's an election year too, so I don't know, like what. Well, it's an election day today, I guess, but I do not want to talk about that. But the point, it's just kind of funny. I thought that was funny, but anyway. All right, Mac here. Let's get some other people's thoughts here. I do want to talk about the playoffs.
About the Boston College?
No, you can come back to Boston College. I do want to talk about college football rankings first, because that is the hot topic right now. Notre Dame is 10, and a way the bracket would work if it was today, we would be playing at BYU out in Provo, and then after assuming a victory there, we would play IU next. So pretty exciting stuff there. So what are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts? It's better to be in than out.
Right? Amen. Yeah.
I don't really, I mean, it's so early. To ask me after the conference championships games, then I'll know. I'll tell you how.
Yeah, I mean, I think what that's going to do is that's just going to figure out, like, just some of the placement here. But, like, IU is probably going to run the table, and so is Ohio State most likely. Unless,
that's what I mean.
Unless one of them slips up against somebody. But I don't think they're going to fall so far that Notre Dame's going to jump them. I don't think that's going to happen.
And Ohio will beat Indiana in the Big Ten championship, which means Indiana is going to be a one-loss team. So that keeps them in there. That's what I mean. Ask me how I would feel better if there are 8, because you also are going to get a stupid team like Boise in. that should
Boise's
has no
not a
reason
stupid team. How dare you?
No, but you know
I'm
what I mean.
offended by that.
You're gonna get a Mountain West team or something like that.
I think they
in.
said it would be Memphis, but Memphis I mean, they're not even in the top 25 here, right? So
That's what I mean.
per the
so,
AP,
like, ask me
but they'll be ranked 12th, right? You know, because they're an automatic bid in, right? But they're not going to be the
And Miami's dead spinning, and we lost to them. They just lost to SMU. That was a huge loss.
Yeah, well, they shot themselves in the foot too against Louisville.
But that hurts. That hurts. So that's what I mean. Ask me.
Not really, because apparently they still put us above everybody.
I know. I'm just saying, if we were at 8, I'd feel a little bit better.
Well, so feel a little better because BYU and Texas Tech are playing each other this weekend, right? So most likely, they'll drop 1 or 2 spaces, whoever is the loser there. And a lot of these other teams are gonna pilfer each other, right? Especially in this ACC space, or excuse me, the SEC space. Too. So I actually thought that Pitt at 24 was very interesting. I'm like, is that them giving Notre Dame a bone? Or like I thought that was funny that Pitt was not even in the AP top 25, and they moved Pitt up there, which means that Cincinnati and Memphis are probably those 2 teams that are not up there, and they moved Iowa in, and quite high, Iowa in at a 20. So,
but to be fair, Pitt's biggest win is West Virginia, and they've lost to Louisville, and then they lost to Louisville, and then they lost to they lost to another 2. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I mean
Pitt. Who are you talking about?
Yes, they lost to Louisville.
Pitt lost to West Virginia and Louisville, back to back.
Okay. So those weren't impressive.
Yeah, but that was so long ago, Mac. That was 6 games ago they lost to Louisville.
Yeah, but then you look at their wins, and there's Stanford. They
beat Stanford by 15. We just beat Boston College by 15.
Well, they did beat Boston College by 40.
Stanford has a better record than Boston College, right? So
Do they really?
Yeah.
Once they fired Troy Taylor, I started.
Yeah, but that was back in March. Like Stanford's what, 3-6? What are they right now? They're not. Yeah, they're 3-6. They definitely have a better record than BC.
But anyway, that's kind of what I had to say. Can I just say one thing about that game? I have only one thing to say.
God, that kicking is shit. Oh,
it is a shame. You had your running backs have some of the best games that they've ever had, and at halftime, I think Love only had. I think he only had 12 touches going into the fourth quarter. I didn't understand that because I was listening to the game on the radio, and who's the guy who played for the Patriots that does the color commentary? He was I don't know his name. I know Tony's
my cricket soundtrack here.
Anyway, he was just going off and off about how they were not running the ball, and I kind of agree with that.
We weren't running the ball well. I'll put it that way.
But they didn't start with running. Like they had at the beginning of the game, they went 3 and out. But they were going 2 passes and then a run, and it didn't make sense to me to just be pass.
Well, they were loading the box like no other. I will say that they were basically baiting Denbrock to pass. Okay,
but can't you go to the outside on that?
Run to the outside. Is that's what you're suggesting, or
go to the outside? And also, don't you want to be stubborn to an extent in the first quarter?
Well, don't get me wrong. I like running the football as much as the next man. I'm just saying, like take what they give you, right? Like okay, Notre Dame did have let me put it another way. Boston College had 12 rushing yards total rushing yards. I mean, CJ Carr, for crying out loud, had the same amount of rushing yards that Boston College as a team had. Okay. Now, we still ended up with 159. Now, I will say this, and this is not to throw rocks, but this is maybe for some kernel of perspective here. Yes, Love has 2 rushing touchdowns, and he has a beautiful 94-yard touchdown run. However, you just subtract 94 yards from this
From
159.
150.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Notre Dame has 65 rushing yards against a 1-7 Boston College team. Not good. Now they're 1-8. So that's not good. There's a couple of things that we need to address here. We've got hold on, and I'll throw it back to you. Our rushing attempts per touchdown is 14.5. It actually surprisingly was pretty good considering that we had 2 rushing touchdowns despite the lack of production and the lack of touches. So maybe there's some level of efficiency there, but still, it's not what it's been. In other games, like we're down in the 10s and the 12s in some of these games. But I will say this, it's better than what it was in NC State and USC. So we did run, quote unquote, more efficiently, on Saturday. And passing attempts per touchdown was really good. Carr was really good. But our yards per point, this is the one that sucks. We had a lot of yard points, not a lot of points on the actual points on the scoreboard. Our yards per point was 18.3. It's the highest it's been all season, and a high number is not a good thing in this particular stat. Now, it's significantly better than what BC was. They were 28.1. But yeah, the next worst yards per point that Notre Dame had, I want to say it wasn't Purdue. Who's this? 14. It was Boise. Okay. And so Boise had kind of that grinded out, methodical, whatnot. And what are the common elements here? All right. Boston College and Boise both had a fuck ton more plays, and they ultimately also had way higher time of possession than Notre Dame. So I'm not saying this as like, oh, woe is me and, this, that, and the other.
No.
It's more of a function of this is just the math and this is the similarities with this other game, right? Granted, we won by more points in the Boise State game, clearly.
One other thing Ryan Harris said, and that he was very upset about, is Price fumbled early at the goal line. And they said they basically punished him for fumbling and whatnot. He's
the only turnover of the game by Notre Dame.
His point of view, and I see this point of view because look, Price isn't a horrible running back. He's a good running back.
I love Price.
Does Mike Denbrock make bad calls every once in a while? So do we just pull the coach? So he was saying, I don't think that's good to do to Price. Or fair to do to Price to just bench him like they did.
I mean, life's not fair, so I don't go with the whole fairness.
But I see there's a point because you're going to rely on him coming down. So why kill his confidence unless he's not a guy that you're going to rely on?
Don't fumble the football, I'm kind of a little understanding to that, hey, you fumble the football, you run a mile.
I don't know. Anyway, and the guy who mentioned that, his name is Ryan Harris, former played for the Patriots in 2018. So that's the name I couldn't get.
Okay.
Anyway, have a great day. God bless everybody and all of you. God bless our military men, especially on this week, and women. And thank you everybody for your time.
Thanks, Mac. I'm glad you joined us tonight on the Fighting Irish Faithful show. Really appreciate it. All right, Irish JTL, man. Let's get you rolling in here. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Joe?
Yo, man. Hey, by the way, a buddy of mine is going to the Navy game, and I gave him the bat signal, per se, to find your tailgate. So... FYI.
You got it.
My buddy Zach is...
He'll get taken care of, you know that.
I said, I kind of gave him the rundown, Walsh lot, the whole bit, so...
Yep, he'll be taken care of.
All right, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about BC? You want to talk about Navy? Or you want to talk about playoffs? Or you just want to go recruiting? Floor is yours.
I want to talk about a little of everything.
All right. Well, you're steering the ship here. I'll try to keep up with you. Let's go.
All right, so BC...
DC.
Yeah, if you watch the tape, I watched the all 22 they were playing cover zero for a lot. They were really 9 in the box against 8 of us and we averaged, if you delete the 94-yard touchdown, we were 2.4 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happened. We had 3 offensive linemen. We had 3 offensive linemen making starts. We had Otting and Absher and Gerby, I think, and so we had 7 starts between those 3 guys.
Right? Yeah, it's we do not have the experience.
Run the damn ball sounds good, but I think CJ did what he was supposed to.
Oh, sure. Thank God we have a capable quarterback who can drop dimes against a shitty Boston College team.
He's dropping dimes. If Price doesn't fumble in the red zone, we don't miss the field goal. We don't miss extra points. We win that game by 30.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So it's a very minimalistic approach that the coaches have to take. Like Price can't fumble. Like we all know, 1 fumble doesn't make you, but that's 3 fumbles in 5 games for Price.
Yeah.
So let's get our shit together, Jadarian, because we know that Jeremiah's beating the defense down. Then you come in and you hit the hole and you cut and you get a touchdown, and that's kind of what we've come to expect. But you can't fumble when you get hit.
Correct.
It's just we've made that deal right now.
Well, and I don't think this is anything new here, right? I think Freeman and kind of his MO is like, look, fumbling the ball is essentially treated with punishment per se, from the sense of playing
100%.
time. And I don't look, I'm not the coach, right? And I'm kind of like sensitive to that in a good way. Like, yeah, like we can't fumble it, and especially when you're in that position to score, extend the lead, what have you. And we want, that doesn't mean we don't like Price, but it just shows accountability.
You're right.
And that's really what it is.
You're right. When Jeremiah loves beating up the defense, he's running the carry, 2.4 yards a carry. Like they're running cover zero, 9 men in the box. And CJ's dotting them up. Let's be honest. CJ was dotting them up. Will Pauling had a great game. When you get your chance, Price, you don't get to fumble. And that's 3 fumbles in 5 games. So maybe Aeneas Williams comes in. So it's not like Price fumbled once and we punished him. He's fumbled 3 times in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, is this an issue?
Yeah.
Is this a problem? And so I think you have to understand that we can't accept that especially in the red zone. In the red zone.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little quote understanding of how it happened because he's getting tied up and he's trying to push through and someone gets in there and rips at it.
Trying to push him forward. Yep,
yeah, it's not like it was like some fuck up between like the quarterback and the running back. Like just people aren't paying attention at the moment of catching the ball in your gut, right? Like that. It wasn't that. Thank God. He's not carrying the ball like our buddy Everett Golson like a loaf of bread, right? He's not,
right.
It's nothing like that. So that's good, I guess. But still, it's like you can't, you got to roll with those punches here. I will say this too about the, I have this in the notes as well. Maybe it always seems there's one of these weekends where it's like a survive in advance kind of weekend. Like just get through this game. Like we got BC, Navy's coming up here, right? Like we just came off the bye. So I sometimes feel like I've never done this analysis, of like, I think I did like in season 1 or 2, like what's Notre Dame's record coming off the bye? And is there some sort of like statistical whatever? And without getting into that, I do sometimes feel like there's rust, when you're not playing games, game in, game out,
right.
It's like, so that like, and look at the playoffs last year, right? Every team that advanced to the semis was the team that played a game at home, right?
Yeah.
So they none of those teams that had the bye, Penn State, Georgia, etc. from last year, none of them won. Well, that's not true. No, Penn State had a home game. So none of those teams, Boise is the team I'm thinking of. None of them won that bye week. The play-in teams or whatever. So I think that's interesting, and it's totally a survive and advance scenario for Notre Dame, where all you have to do is win, and the teams in front of you that lose make you rise, and that's why Notre Dame is number 10. Case in point, Miami was ranked 10th going into prior to the games last week. They lose. Vandy ranked 9th. They go down after looking terrible against Texas in that first quarter. Okay. Georgia Tech, bad loss. Okay. They were ranked 8th. They drop huge. And then Tennessee, though not ranked ahead of Notre Dame, but a loss by them. Again, same thing. They're like just inside the top 25, right? So with these rankings. So, is it one of those weekends, Jason, where we just have to just remain standing and we'll be fine for now?
Agreed. I think everybody gets one of those, right? Like,
I mean, for crying out loud, Georgia just won by 4 points against a Florida team that fired their head coach, right? So
right. Alabama had one against USC. Georgia had one against Florida. Like, those games happen. It's how you persevere and what you look like.
Right.
And we didn't look great, but if you look at the points we left on the field and understand like what the mission is going forward and how we've lost, I think everybody can kind of see how it's going to play out and how the committee is going to look at it. But wow, we just need to keep doing what we're doing. We got to win.
I agree.
And I said at the A&M tailgate before we lost, I think Pitt is going. I said it. I think Pitt is going to be our big test, and the committee recognizes Pitt. I was very happy the committee recognized Iowa. Yeah. I think I'm not even an Iowa fan. I live in Iowa, but God, Iowa's really, they played Indiana closer than anybody, better than Oregon.
Yes, they did.
And Iowa deserves a little fucking comeuppance. So I think we win if we win out. I'm really hoping that we get Ole Miss into like a 5, and we and Ole Miss get to go toe-to-toe down in Oxford.
That would be nice.
Outside of us getting a home game, if we got to go on the road, I don't want to go to Provo, but God, I'd take an Ole Miss home game in a second.
Right. I still have. I'm not really sure how this would work from oh, hey, the doc's listening on. Awesome. I'm not really sure how this would work, like with the rankings and whatnot. I guess maybe we could pull that up here real quick on the YouTube channel here. I said at the beginning of the season that Notre Dame and Oregon will play each other in the playoffs. Now, right now, with Oregon being 9 and Notre Dame being 10, that's probably a little difficult for that to happen unless it's like a later round kind of situation here, and that would be like a semis type of game or something, so who knows. But anyway, a lot can still happen if Oregon wins out or what have you, and Indiana say drops 2 or something. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Didn't you call, Jason, that you thought Indiana might lose to Penn State this weekend?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I mean, that may be very possible, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know. All right, so take the win against BC and move on. That's kind of the MO I'm getting from you.
That's it. And then Come out and tailgate with us. We'll be there at 8 a.m. next week.
Oh, man, that's going to be a long day.
Long day.
Long
I haven't
day.
decided what the menu is yet, but we'll be there at 8 a.m.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, I'll make sure my buddy Zach finds you, and we'll go from there. I am not attending to the game. I am attending in full heart and spirit, and we'll be watching on NBC. So with most of our fans. So thank you, Jason at IrishJTL on the X, our tailgate master of ceremonies, and our recruiting scout on the Fighting Irish Faithful show. Thank you so much. And now, the man from Reno, by way, well, actually, he's really from Fresno, but now he lives in Reno. He could probably hook you up if you need to project manage some solar panels or something. At 5'10", the ambassador of Chico Tu Madre football, our front man at Luis.
My boy, it's players of Notre Dame. Chico Tu Madre type of football, motherfuckers.
There we go. What's up, Luis?
Hey, right here, my boy, just coming home from dinner with my sons.
Our front man coming in a half hour after we start, but it's all good.
I know, bro. I know. I'm sorry, bro. My son came from Canada, and I wanted to see how his trip was. He wanted to go see his girlfriend and stuff like that. And, you know, as a parent, you want to make sure he had a good time. And then I kind of let him know about my shenanigans and how upset I was at Notre Dame and just seeing the sloppiness football they were playing. And I got on Dan Brock's ass because as much as money he's getting paid, he needs to get these boys right. And enough with this finesse stuff that he wants to do. It's Notre Dame football time. You got 9 people in the box. You stack 9 people in the box, and let's run them. And it's one of those things. I see you, you see me, and go fuck off type of shit.
I agree. It's a little irritating sometimes watching Den Brock try to like outsmart everyone. Now, fortunately, you know, we had some very key assignments and very great execution on the long run by Jeremiah Love. So hooray for us. However, it's like time and time again, we're just running into the wall, or it's like a 3-yard, gain or no yard gain. And it's just like, why are we doing this zone read crap? Like, why does that have to be the only run package that we do? Why do we only have one running back in the backfield? It's to me, it concerns me from, if an opponent is going to sell out to stop our run, which Boston College essentially did. Fortunately, we can still throw it. And, you have, Malachi Fields and Will Pauling coming in to save the day. So hooray. But I'm with you, Luis. Like, can we please just have some diversity in the running game? I formation, split back, double tight. I mean, for crying out loud, like, we haven't even seen a jumbo package. Create some sort of mismatch with their defense, something they haven't seen before. Now, maybe we don't want to show that until the playoffs. I don't know. But something tells me that it goes a little deeper, or lack of depth right there with Den Brock.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, at the level that we're at, we're not supposed to be intimidating. And that's the one thing that I hate the team up north, but when they know you're going to run the ball, you're going to run the ball. That's the mentality that we need to have, instead of this wishy-washy and let me dance around like eggshell type of shit. Like, bro, we got big boys. We got some big asses. We got some hard knocks. We have motherfuckers that will smash you in the fucking mouth.
Well, and that's the problem.
Toe-to-toe, man-to-man.
The run game, it's like waiting for the hole to develop. And though Jeremiah Love is very quick to find it, okay, but it's like sometimes when they're stacking the box, you don't have the bodies and the numbers. It's a math game you're gonna lose to allow the hole and the play to develop, because it's like there's nowhere for you to go, and then all of a sudden you're just swallowed up by people because there's more of them than your guys, right? You know, and especially to what Jason was saying, you know, you have guys that are, you know, they only have a handful of starts under their belt, right? With what's happening now, fortunately, I think that'll improve, you know, as people get healthy or whatnot, and obviously experience is the best X factor, quite frankly. But yeah, I mean, we did not run the ball well, so my RTDB, you know, juices were not flowing. The game was very frustrating to watch at times.
To me, the game was too slow. Like, it was one of those games where, like, okay, yeah, we had it under control. It was too confident, and what upsets me the most is that we're everybody's Super Bowl. Like, it doesn't matter what the record is.
Right.
They have every reason to go balls to the wall against us because we're going to make them on notice. We're going to give them their highlight reel that they're looking for to get drafted or to be looked at or et cetera, transfer portal, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like, we're their golden ticket. So it's time for us to, if we're going to do that, it's going to be among elite of the elites. Because why? Because they have those type of athletes. Let's not develop and make other people be those type of athletes with the name of Notre Dame behind it. No, miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? It's either you are who you are or you ain't who you are. Which one is it? Because the whole thing, we're paying Dan Brock, I don't know what, $2.7 million or $3.7 million for what? For him to try to outsmart you like this is a chess game? No, boy, this ain't about chess game. You do that when you're in the playoffs and then you have a real inferior opponent. Right now is, okay, they're going to put 9 men on the box. We're going to put nine blockers up front, and we're going to smash you. Let's see how long that's going to take until one of them gives. And if we're not that type of football, then stop acting like we are, because we're not no finesse team. That's something that we're not.
Yeah. No, it's true. You know, like, as much as, you know, people want it to be this, you know, oh, I'm going to evade capture and cross this white line on the grass. Like, no, that is not what football is. I've said this before. It is not chess. It is not checkers. It is hungry hippos. How hard can you smash that fucking lever and go gobble up a ball, and then you do it again and again and again until time is up, okay? So, Luis, I have a question for you, and this also, I think we're going to bring Coach Parsegian on at the same time, because I know he wants to talk about this as well. What was more frustrating for you, Luis? Our run game that Denbrock was calling, or lack of calling, or our kicking?
Oh, both. I was just disgusted with the whole situation, and then the kickers is like, you need to stick with a kicker because you're gonna have to rebuild their confidence if they lose it, you know. And it's like, okay, if we're gonna go with a freshman, then go with him. Let him develop into next season in the years upon, obviously, right? And if this guy doesn't get it, this is the perfect time. You have Boston College, you got Navy. Don't sleep on Pitt. I'm letting you know right now. Don't sleep on Pitt.
No, I get anxiety with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So Syracuse is another game where we could really stick with the freshman. You know what I mean?
I would even argue like Stanford. You know, Stanford's.
Stanford too. Exactly, Stanford too.
I mean, I guess they got Andrew Luck as their, you know, manager or whatever he is, but you know.
Like I said, miss me with that. But this is the time for us to like choose one, get with it, and then the running game. I already told you how I feel about that. But I do want to give a shout out to the Notre Dame faithful and the Notre Dame fans and the ticket holders for the USC game.
Oh, there you go.
Because you know how good it felt to go to Notre Dame Stadium and see a minimum, I want to say it was maybe 10% of USC fans. If not, it was more like 5%. But it felt hella good to be at a home game that belonged to Notre Dame.
Amen.
And not the opponent.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it was interesting. I remember the doc and she'll remember this, back in, what was that, 2015? No, 2019. 2015, we saw the UMass game. 2019, we went, and it was just the two of us. Actually, I got the photo here. It's over here on the desk here. This was our Christmas card, actually. But yeah, from 2019, we got... we went, and there were a lot of USC fans. Now our section was pretty good; it was pretty much just all Notre Dame, but we saw a lot of USC people, and that's at the time it seemed kind of understandable. I think Clay Helton was their coach at the time, right? And so it was a night game. We got the victory; it was great. So seeing them travel, but if they're traveling less and less, and that's what's interesting is Lincoln Riley, this hot, name in the coaching circuit, getting paid a ton of money, and then they're just not performing, and, who knows, like they got to go on the road to all these other Midwest places, and it's like, hey, we're the rival, so I don't know what's up with the USC fan base, I don't care that they don't come. I'm happy they didn't, and I'm happy that Notre Dame fans are dominating. But yeah, it's one of those things where that's the one game you would kind of expect them to, come out. They got the cash, they got, you would think they would value the rivalry in some sense.
Yeah, like I don't know, for some of the people that are here, right? That I get it. Sometimes, you resell your ticket. You don't know who you're going to get. You're just trying to get rid of your ticket. But it just, I've been very harsh on some of them. And I shouldn't even say it. I have nothing to say, to be honest with you. Because first of all, I can't afford season tickets. Second of all, I'm barely lucky enough to go there once.
Yeah.
It's like I have a dog to the fight or a migraine of salt. But it's just frustrating as a Notre Dame fan to see that. And then the whole thing is, though, is like I actually motivated a friend of mine that had to go travel for work. It's on my Facebook page right now.
Okay.
He actually went to South Bend today just to walk down the campus, and he's like, "Damn, bro, this is crazy." Like, most typical Mexicans and some
Look
of
at
us
these
gangsters.
trees. They're like every color.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, dude, he's asking everybody, "Hey, where's the new holes? Where's new holes?" Because there's new holes and Tim Brown in the back and all that.
Oh,
he
yeah.
just went over there just to take a picture of that because he's a diehard Raider, right?
Okay.
But when he's walking there right now, and he tagged me in some of the posters and posts and stuff like that, it felt really good that people see what I go through, and now you're inspiring other people that never had ever an opportunity to go to South Bend. Take a chance just to go for the drive, even if it's out of their way from work. And that's the blessing of the university. And honestly, a lot of you guys, bro, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be really, really honest with you. Some of you know what I'm going through.
Yep.
We come from an immigrant family. My grandpa was an immigrant out here, gave the opportunity to my dad. Me and my brothers are born here. We come from an immigrant family. And if those that don't know, my brother got electrocuted a week ago. And my brother's in the burn unit at Lebec, Texas right now.
Jeez, sorry to hear
I'm lucky to have my brother. I'm lucky to have him in my life. Unfortunately, we can't be with him because we just don't have enough money for both sides of the family. It's either my dad or my brother right now. And some of you that do have your parents, and some of you that do have your siblings, I'm telling you, reach out to them and just say hello to them. You don't need to say more. You don't need to say less. Whatever, I know we were fighting. I'll tell you right now, I said some really awful things to my brother before it happened to him. And I'm just lucky to have my brother alive, guys, and treasure your life each and every moment. And the one beauty about Notre Dame, that we have a young man with the last name Love, and there's nothing wrong giving love back, guys. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll let you guys be with that. All right, my boy?
Sounds good, Luis. Well, sorry about your brother, man. This is the first time hearing of that. Prayers for him and his recovery, man. That's rough. Whew. That's some heavy stuff there. All right, Luis, thanks so much. All right, with that, let's go talk about Coach Parsegian's favorite topic. It is not kicking. I can tell you that right now.
My bad.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting for you to play it.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt this time.
No, it's all good. It's a kind of more fun when I interrupt you, honestly, with it. But So, I do have a question for anyone who's watching on YouTube. I know Jay has seen and commented here, but we're going to take a quick break here from this, and I can see my follower count decreasing in many metrics. That's hilarious. 5'0" jumps on as soon as they start playing this song. But yes, if you are watching on YouTube, I am not wearing my normal Notre Dame hat. No. I got a question for Coach Parsegian. Who's more hated now, the Yankees or the Dodgers? Back-to-back World Series champions. Last team to do that was the Yankees.
It depends, really. I think, honestly, more people, Yankees fans really hated Vladimir Guerrero more because he's like talking all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
After beating the Yankees, and it's like, dude, worry about the Dodgers. From experience, worry about the Dodgers. Quit worrying about the Yankees.
I mean, they got the bats going at the right time in that game. What a great Game 7 of the World Series. I will say that. It was very exciting to watch.
It all went
very
according
exciting
to the
to
script.
watch. Very exciting game. Yeah, Dodgers got multiple home runs. Just take it. So I had to say that. Happy about that. And surprisingly, it was funny. We had a staff meeting on Monday, and one of my coworkers had some Dodgers gear on. I was like, it was like mid-meeting, and I see her across the room like, we need to talk right after this. so that was fun. But yes, Dodgers win the World Series, so I'm happy. So obviously this is the Notre Dame show, but we're gonna take a break from the hat to go with the Dodgers. So. All right, Coach Eric Parsegian, what's up, man? We brought you on not to talk baseball too much. I mean, we can if you want, I guess. But let's roll into with our kicking game, or the lack therein. I don't normally keep track of kicking stats, but I looked at it today, and it's not pleasant at all. It's bad.
I think I mentioned this in the group chat during the game. It's like, I've not seen the kicking this bad since Kyle Brenza in the second half of the 2014 season.
Bad. Like, I didn't go back. Like, I've never looked at it. Like my normal, like, it would be difficult to find this information now back in 2014, in the Weiss years, where it was, it's like make the sign of the cross before you line up for a PAT. That's Notre Dame right now.
With DJ Fitzpatrick and his hit or
Nick
miss.
Tausch or whatever. Like, not to like throw rocks at these guys, because I can't kick a ball.
Okay, you thought the bush push made you sick to your stomach. If DJ Fitzpatrick had hit two, I think he only missed two. If he hits those two kicks, even with the bush push touchdown, Notre Dame wins.
Interesting.
But I don't know what made me more nervous. I guess because I was there in person. But the Kyle Brenza game winner against LSU in the Music City Bowl.
Yeah.
I guess being there in person, I was more nervous for that than I was the Orange Bowl last year.
Well, like the Pitt game from 2012, right? We miss we have like a turnover on downs or something. We miss our field goal, whatever, and then Pittsburgh kicker misses their field goal as well, right? And it's like, okay, God clearly is a Notre Dame fan today, right? So, but no, We're complaining about the kicking, but there is a reason for this. It's not just us being negative. No, Notre Dame is not good. PAT percentage, okay. We are 134th in the country. There's only 136 teams in college football. We are third worst. We have an 89% win percentage in kicking points after touchdown, so not good. This isn't like the NFL where you're kicking from like 20 or something, right? No, it's like you're at the 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck it is. And field goal percentage, we're 5 of 8. We're 119th in the country. So bad. Now let's flip over to our opponent here at Navy. Okay, Navy is tied at first in the country in PATs. There's like 50 teams in college football that have not missed a PAT. We're clearly not one of them, but Navy is. Field goal.
Navy's military. They haze your balls off if you miss or do something wrong.
Well, I can't speak to those particular experiences. coach. But what I will say is they are 6 of 7 in field goals. Now, Grant, they've had one less attempt, but they have one more make than us. So the math works out. They're ranked 31st in the country in field goal percentage. We're 119th. I did some other research here on, I can't believe we're going to do this, but let's do it. Why not? PAT kicking. Who's made the most? Oh no, it's field goals. Let's go back here. I need like some field goals. Here we go. All right. Field goal percentage. There are 4 teams whose kicker has not missed a single field goal right now. Hawaii, Boston College, who we just played, Kansas, and Utah State. Now, I want to draw our eye over to Hawaii because they have of these teams, they've attempted 21 field goals and made all 21. Okay? So, can we get like a Manti Te'o or, someone from Hawaii over there? Like, can we get like encourage someone to enter the transfer portal? Is the guy LDS? Is the guy Catholic? I don't care. We need somebody from Hawaii to recruit this kicker and bring him over to Notre Dame next season. I'm telling you right now, this is ridiculous.
If I see Craig at the game this weekend, I'll have to ask him because he was just recently in Hawaii, and he said there were Notre Dame fans everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
Notre Dame fans are everywhere.
Surely there's somebody that knows how to kick accurately.
I just, okay, soccer is going on right now, but we don't have someone from, like, the rugby team that can come over, right? Like, we can't be like St. Mary's basketball team who recruits all these Australian guys. We can't recruit some rugby player from Australia to come to Notre Dame. Like give me a break. Like do better, Notre Dame. Like
you really
Marcus
want some
Freeman,
31-year-old Australian.
I don't want a 31-year-old
like Brian from Family Guy around all these high school.
No,
kids.
I don't want a 31-year-old guy. That's just creepy. Like I want a competent kicker. Okay, like. Can I say it? Do we need some qualified kicker from the women's soccer team? I'm dead serious when I say that. Okay, like I need you to line up and kick PATs reliably. Okay, that's all I need you to do. Why the hell can't we do that? It's irritating and it's gonna bite us if we're not careful.
In response to Abby's comment she just made, I want to know the story about the Hawaii kicker.
Yeah, I don't actually know his name. I just went to my stat here and we have to go from that. So I'm gonna let that be a encourage others to go do that research, post it in the chat, post it on our YouTube feed, whatever, like, subscribe. That's the only time I'm gonna say it. All right. Put the Hawaii's kicker in the chat in YouTube right now. All right. Actually, it's over here.
However, shout out to
bullshit
Dabo Swinney for calling out finally somebody
at the ACC
prominent in college football
suck.
Just calling out, just officiating across the board, not just the ACC, across the board, and how garbage it's been. It's been this way for the last 2 or 3 years.
Now, I would argue that is not why Clemson is doing so bad. But
no, it's not. It's because Dabo refuses to embrace NIL. But it's just like,
okay,
why is everybody so afraid to call out the BS? Like, it's atrocious. How, like, the face mask call
that was
us.
A horrible call. It was so bad.
And not trying to, go against Boston College, but I mean,
you
good grief. Two roughing the passers?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. Like, I know one of them was a makeup call, but there are much clearer, more evident makeup calls than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad here. Yeah, I'm with you there. Here we got 5'0" pod on here. Let's bring him on so you guys can go toe to toe with me, since we'll bring all the Yankee people on here. Mike, come on.
What's up?
You got to get up early, man.
I do.
Now's your time.
Yeah, hold on. All right.
Is that a Rolling Rock? What do you got there?
That is a Rolling Rock.
How do I know?
I had to drink Miller Lite at baseball practice. So now I got to switch to Rolling Rock.
I love it. Do you remember that show we did? I think it was like 2 years ago, where we did we like switched roles. Like we have our normal like end of the year, yes, like Fighting Irish. What do we call it? The Fighting Faithful. I know I've got it somewhere. Like where we mash up our names and it's one show. But anyway, where we switched, where you were drinking scotch and I was drinking Rolling Rock.
Absolutely, I absolutely remember that.
What a great show! That was awesome.
I had Doers that night. That's what I had.
Doers. What's Doers? Sorry, I couldn't help. What's up, man? We didn't bring you on just to talk about alcohol.
I'm here for the kicking tryouts.
Kicking tryouts. Let's go. Yes. Were you? How was the kicker on your team at Franklin College?
He was fine. There was he would be doing. In fact, he was my favorite player because this dude, he was from Indiana, and it did not matter the weather. He wore shorts 24/7 all day, every day. It was snowing, foot of snow up to your ankles.
That dude's probably from Fort Wayne or something.
But I gotta tell you the story. So I'm went to high school in Houston, Texas. Football is very prominent there, big deal. We're playing in the Astrodome when football was still played inside the Astrodome.
Nice.
We are in the regional finals to go to the state, like where you're out of your area.
Yep.
And we had a sophomore kicker, soccer player, mind you, Nick DeVille. He decided that he's going to miss an extra point with 48 seconds to go to tie the game, and we lose to Pearland and Noah Allen and. Yeah, I did feel bad for the kid because he's crying, not crying, but he was very I'm going to stay away from the players because I just cost a bunch of seniors a trip to state championships in football. Right. And then a few years later, we learned he lost a nut, so he's now one nut Nick DeVille.
Oh, golly.
And it wasn't anything tragic. He was playing soccer and got kicked in the balls and lost a nut. So yeah, that's my kicker story.
It's not funny.
No, it's not. It's not Lance Armstrong stuff. It's just dude just got kicked in the balls and lost one of them.
Isn't there some comedy movie it's some romantic comedy where some guy is playing basketball against a lawyer and anyway, random thought. I think
here's what I'm going to say about the kicking real quick. Let's see.
Were awful.
Before
the Hawaii
Schrader
guy?
Before Schrader got blown out, he was the best kicker in the NFL not the best. Aubrey's still the best. Also a Notre Dame guy. But Schrader was money for the Colts. Got his knee tore up. Groupie's kicking for the Saints. Coach brought up Brinza. Brinza had an NFL career.
Did he really?
Well, yes.
How come Yoon didn't? That's what I don't understand. Why is Yoon not kicking?
I don't. Maybe distance. But the point I'm making is,
he followed in the footsteps of Reggie Ho. He's I'm just going to go be a doctor or something,
But Notre Dame kickers have made it to the NFL to where you would think a good kicker would be interested in going to Notre Dame to make a name for themselves. But yes, the Hawaii kicker, you brought it up. He went to Hawaii specifically to learn. I think he moved to Hawaii to learn English because he was determined. That had something to do with it. But he learned how to kick on YouTube. That's the story.
Really?
This motherfucker learned how to kick on YouTube, and we got a kid.
This is like that.
I don't know what he
what's that one movie? I just watched it. It's the like with the PlayStation race car game, right? Not Fast and Furious.
Oh.
Fuck, was it Forza? Not
F1.
Forza. Yeah,
F1.
no, it wasn't Formula One. It was Gran something. What?
Oh, Gran Turismo.
No. Is it Gran Turismo?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm getting the streams crossed with Gran Torino, which is not the same movie at all. Okay. Gran Turismo. Yeah. No, that movie was tight. Is that what this is? Like if I get good at kicking in Madden, like can I?
No, wait.
No. Okay.
So it's not quite the same. So actually, a real life example, William Byron, if anybody follows NASCAR, he was just in the championship didn't win, but he learned how to drive through iRacing. It's very realistic, but it's a video game, and he learned how to drive and now he's a NASCAR driver, a very good driver. But no, what this Hawaiian kicker did was watch YouTube videos and then just emulated the videos and learned how to kick that way.
Wow.
And I mean, I think that just speaks to the Asian culture to perfect things. But he did it. I realized I said what I said. All right, I said what I said. He learned how to perfect it, and he's good at it.
Hey, rinse, repeat, recycle. Rinse, repeat, recycle.
It's just we have a serious problem, and it's just like as we're sitting there on Sunday going, what the fuck are we gonna do about our kicking? We got one dude making a 68-yarder. We got a Notre Dame soccer player lining up for a 68-yarder, and he had the distance. It was a little off. We don't have the distance for a PAT.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But the Boston College game was frustrating, man. We literally should have just let CJ Carr
Kansai Matsuazwa.
Yeah, you're not gonna say it. You could try though.
I just did it. Okay.
Do it again.
Kansai Matsuazwa.
Is it? And correct me if I'm wrong.
This isn't like that one time where I was in Hawaii with my family, and every time I was like reading a guidebook, and I couldn't say King Kamehameha. Every time I got to it, I said something different. The wife knows, she's listening right now. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. But no, this guy. Can we please recruit him, please? Okay.
I think he's a left-footed kicker, is he not?
No.
I could be wrong.
No,
I could be thinking of the Oklahoma kid.
I'm a left-footed kicker, but
the Oklahoma kid who had his Daisy Duke shorty shorts on, he kicked 3 50-yard field goals in one fucking game. We should go get him.
I'd be okay with that. I mean, like right now the grass is very green. With kickers that are not at Notre Dame, it's not a good situation.
No, it's not, because here's the deal. I'm already spacing who the kicker we had last year. Schrader. Yeah. How clutch was he in so many key moments?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be relevant if we hope to, and I think we will make the college football playoff. I'm sorry, you got to have someone that can kick a freaking field goal. In fact, I don't know what year it was. Maybe Coach remembers because he lives in the state. But Alabama had a very serious no kicker issue, and it cost them a national championship, if I remember correctly.
I agree.
I don't remember what season it was, but they had a
2013. He missed a kick with 1 second left, and Auburn returned it back for a touchdown.
No, that was a super long one.
No, that's the kick six. That's
yeah. But wasn't it like there was a game against LSU where they ended up losing and he missed like 3 field goals or some shit. But point being is,
I don't remember his name, but yeah, I was actually there on the field for that game.
Okay.
That was 2011, 1 versus 2, I believe.
Yeah. It just, in a game that matters, a kicker is going to be needed.
Yes.
And I don't understand how, like, if you're going to miss a field goal, you're going to miss what, but we can't even make PATs.
Yeah, the PAT thing is really concerning. Like, let's just line up like Dallas Carter did in the movie Friday Night Lights, right? And just go for 2 every time at this point. Like, I feel a little more confident with that.
Well, we could do the funniest thing ever just for headlines and a story. Tyler Buckner's sister plays soccer at Notre Dame.
Does she really?
So, yes.
That would be funny. Wait, what position?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
Okay.
But you could, if she's on the soccer field, I'm sure she knows how to kick.
Right, but like there's a difference between like defender, striker, goal.
No,
you know what
sure.
I mean? Like
for sure, yeah. But you can snap it to Buckner and have Buckner kick it through.
But I bet Buckner is the jack of all trades. I'm sure he could kick.
I don't know if I trust him to kick. He can barely field a snap.
He's got to put gloves on, right? It's fine.
But it's something that I don't know how you address it through 8 games now. After 8 games, like what do you do? Well, you can't recruit now. Like,
gentlemen, good evening. I just want to say she's either a midfielder or a striker.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, ND Fanatics, coming in with the knowledge.
But like you said, Joe.
Sorry, man. I don't have your walk-up music. Sorry, ND Fanatics. I know you sent it to me.
But like you said, football and soccer season overlap, so
they do.
It's not exactly.
It's not ideal.
Correct. But
that's why I suggested the rugby team.
Yeah, and I heard something funny. This made me laugh too. Well, we can't kick PATs. We'll just go for 2.
That's what I just said.
But then we run into the and I jumped on late because baseball didn't get done till 8:40. Got home, ate something real quick.
I said that like 2 minutes ago.
You did?
Didn't we miss a 2-point conversion in the BC game?
Yes, we did. Because we ran a stupid fucking run. Okay, it was a bad formation. I'm like, oh, they're gonna stop this, and they did.
But here's the problem, Joe. So you go for 2 instead of the PAT, and then you run into the other problem, our short yardage situation. So like,
we're playing the team this week that is very good at the short yardage situation. Hey, Denbrock, pay attention. Okay? Navy does this every effing week. Okay? Runs the ball very well. Superior to us. Here, let's pull up the spreadsheet. This is actually really the first time we're really looking at Navy stats. Okay? They are number 1 in rushing touchdowns. In third down offense, they're 4th in the country. Okay, they convert on their third downs 53.9% of the time. Okay, do I have 4th down on here? I should. I'm sure it's great there as well. I got 4th down defense. I don't have 4th down offense. Interesting. They run the ball 77% of the time, and their rushing yards, they're 1st in the country. They average 317 rushing yards a game. Okay, so Denbrock, pay attention to the team you're playing this week that knows how to run the football. Okay, we have superior athletes, at least we should. Okay, why can't you do sometimes what Navy does? That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying you need to flip the whole playbook upside down. Just in situations where it makes sense, get under center, go pistol, go double tight. I don't know. You're the one being paid out the ass to come up with this shit, not me. I'm just some dude in central Indiana with a bell and a scotch, okay, and some spreadsheets. And you fine people who are contributing tonight. Thank you, fine people. And my beautiful wife who's listening tonight. Thanks, Doc. Love you.
So I'm glad you brought that up because, you talk about needing a kicker in a situation that we hope to be in with our football team.
I mean, Navy kicks better than us.
Well, yeah. But what I was going to get at with the things you just talked about is short yardage is something that's going to be needed in a game that fucking matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that we have this really great offense and CJ Carr is doing what he's doing and the defense is finally turning a corner, it seems. but yet we have two things that are gonna be important when it rubber meets the road in the playoff: short yardage and kicking, and it's a problem.
Do we need to circle around to the playoff rankings, Mike? Do you wanna make comment to that? We can.
You know, it's funny.
We didn't quite beat it with a horse, like.
Well, we're 10, and what I love is it's so funny. It started last week and has continued into now the college football rankings, where, I mean, if you're watching the games, Notre Dame outside of the BC game, which we still had so many opportunities to score 40 points and we just threw them away, but nonetheless, outside the BC game, Notre Dame has looked really good since the second half of Purdue. And if you're watching them play and watching them do what they're doing, that looks like a really good football team. Miami has, since they beat us, which, again, if you play them today and with a game plan that we know CJ Carr can run with, we beat Miami week 1. But we didn't.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a function of CJ Carr's, comfort level, finding his receivers, the O-line clicking better. I mean, despite the fact that the O-line had limited starts in this game, the protection against Carr was very good. I don't think he was sacked at all. Let me check this real quick. I don't think he was not sacked at all.
Yeah, that if you played that game this weekend, Notre Dame wins, because now you know what, you don't have to have these restrictions and whatnot on CJ Carr. But what's funny that started last weekend is, well, if head-to-head doesn't matter, regardless of the time of the year, etc., then why bother playing the game? Do you know how many people are advocating for 1993 Notre Dame National Championship right now?
It's funny you mentioned that, because I saw that again on X tonight. well, before the show, I was like, goodness gracious, it just keeps coming back. Was this a Notre Dame fan or a non-Notre Dame person?
Oh no, it's national people. It's Danny Cannell himself, who owns a 1993 National Championship ring. Still, the head-to-head should matter. I'm like, unless it's 1993, I suppose. But
right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. I do.
It's different times.
Miami beat Notre Dame on the field, yes. But at the same time, like, logic has to prevail at some point.
Well, and I would argue the difference there, like the 93 situation, I think what makes it difficult is, number one, it was so long ago and it stings still, is the fact that it was the week after we beat Florida State, right? And so there's this recency bias. Now, if you fast forward to the present, Notre Dame beating Boston College is very recent, along with Miami losing to at SMU. Versus 8 weeks ago or whatever it was, Notre Dame losing a close one in Hard Rock first week of the year. So these teams have clearly developed in different ways in that amount of time, and so clearly it appears that the committee is paying more attention to the recent performance of these football teams than kind of some of this head-to-head kind of stuff or whatever. Like Miami just lost last week. They lost to Louisville. Louisville is ranked above them, right? Louisville also has a better record. Notre Dame is putting up good statistics. We talk about it on this show. If Notre Dame didn't blow out teams like Arkansas, I think that Arkansas game is huge for basically being responsible for Pittman getting fired and things like that. Like I the recency bias is real. It is a real thing. I mean, look at Alabama, for crying out loud. They lost to Florida State week 1. People have clearly forgotten about that because they're ranked 4th, right? If the playoff was today, they would have a bye. Okay.
Yep.
They've clearly forgotten about that because Florida State is not what they used to be. They were talking about
playing really good.
They are playing very well, and Ohio State, they're they're not, I don't think, blowing teams out the way Indiana is, but you look at the efficiency of Ohio State statistically, go look at some of these stats from CFB stats or whatever. Ohio State's doing really well in a lot of them. Okay. And, we don't want to talk about that. Right. My boss is actually an Ohio State guy. But it's like, what can we say? Like, we haven't beaten Ohio State since 1936. So not that I'm keeping tabs, because I am, but
I want to hear other people's thoughts on the rank. I'm glad you brought it up, because Notre Dame at 10, that puts us in right now.
It does. It does. Today, we are actually, now I can officially say I think Notre Dame is in control of their destiny right now. You have to keep winning. You lose, you are out. It will not happen. Most likely, we're probably looking at we'll be an away team playing somewhere else, but we have no one else to blame but ourselves. And that's where we're at. So
what I was going to say, though, is if you look, I don't know that if we keep winning, we'll be the away team, because all the teams that are in front of us, behind us, around us, there's a lot of playing each other that has to happen.
You're saying there's going to be some cannibalism going on, or?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I say the fact that we're at 10, like, we do control our own destiny. I feel like if we went out, we're in, because of the fact that the other teams, there's teams that are going to win, okay, but the other teams are going to lose. Like, one way or another, teams might jump us, but other teams are going to fall behind us in the same process, right? So we may not move up enough to be, like you said, host a game. We might be the away team. But I think if we win, we're in, because too much cannibalism is going to happen around us that not enough teams are going to jump us, because in order to jump us, the team in front of us has to get beat by the team that's behind us. So it's like they're just going to switch places.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll definitely move up at least to 9, because I think, obviously you got BYU and Texas Tech playing each other this weekend, right? So one of those teams is going to drop, and if, say, BYU wins, Texas Tech now has has 2 losses. I think that hurts them more than BYU losing. It also maybe depends on how the game goes. Is it a close game? Does one team get embarrassed and get blown out? I think that stuff matters. Oregon, who knows, right? It wasn't so much like, who did you win? It was, I don't know. Like, I'm not in those rooms. I'm not invited to those meetings. But
let me ask you this: are you looking at the rankings right now?
Yeah, they're up live.
Who behind us do you think legitimately has a chance to jump us and be in a situation where we could fall below 12? Because I don't think Texas is gonna. They're not that good. They're not good enough. They probably. I don't know who they play.
The only thing. Texas does play Texas A&M the last game of the season.
Boom, there you go. So maybe that helps them, but I don't think Texas is going to beat Texas A&M. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
OU, I don't know who they. I'm just looking at the list right now. I don't see a team behind us that is going to be in a position to jump us. And I don't know. I think, like you said, we control our own destiny. And if there's enough cannibalism, we sneak our way into a position to host a game.
I hear something weird. I'm looking at these rankings, and because they have the 5 like conference, highest ranking conference winners that are automatic in, which I have no problem with, by the way. The ACC. Do you know who the best team in the ACC is tonight?
UVA.
Yes, it's Virginia.
And
how many times have we beaten Virginia?
Well, you want to hear a fun fact about Virginia?
Like the one year we don't play Virginia, Louisville, Georgia Tech, teams that actually would help our schedule. I guess we lost to Miami, but like we've played all these teams like recently, and this is the one year we don't. And okay, like
5-0 all time against Virginia. FY.
We're playing the bottom feeders of the ACC, Sorry, Auntie, talking about Syracuse here, but Angeli getting injured really screwed them up.
Well, I think too, because a lot of their fans are complaining UVA, Louisville right now, and I'm like, okay, well, UVA, you were augmented by beating Florida State, who's not a good team, and he is teetering towards going that way.
What's interesting is Virginia's loss is actually to NC State. You know,
but that was out of conference technically. I don't know if you know that.
What?
Yeah, because of the way they had to modify the ACC with SMU and Cal and Stanford, all these additions, they ended up with a situation where
they are in the ACC. Oh,
yeah, exactly. with all these additions, there was a scenario where there was going to be a year or two where there was going to be some ACC games played against ACC teams that were not going to count towards the conference standings.
That doesn't make sense.
I 100% agree.
Well,
but
they have the little patch on their jersey. It says ACC.
Yeah.
But
I think
anyway,
what's important too, we have two shared
opponents.
I guess
kind of like Oregon State winning the Pac-12, and they're not getting any kind of bye into the college football playoff.
No, that next year the Pac-12 will rise, but it'll be a basketball conference because they're revisiting all that. Colorado State, Texas, somebody, and Gonzaga's joining the Pac-12 finally. You know,
well, if I'm Oregon State, I'm getting the biggest, fattest, most iced out conference championship rings in the history of ever winning a conference with one game.
No, wait, they're not going to be better than Washington State, are they?
They beat them last weekend. It's done. It's over.
They're conference champions.
Oh, I guess so. All right, Washington State. But Washington State is a better record.
Doesn't matter. They lost their conference.
That's funny.
There's only one
Oregon
conference
State's
game.
2-7. Didn't they fire? They fired their coach, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I actually have this in the stats here, or on the page here. We have an update here with I think the off season, or in that maybe that meaty period between the end of regular season and going into the playoffs and bowl season, what have you. The coaching carousel is going to be very, very interesting this year. Probably unlike anything we've ever seen before. Let's recap everybody, all the big program names. Like there's like a few other teams in there that are just kind of like meh. UCLA, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Penn State, Oregon State, Florida, and LSU all looking for coaches. And the newest one added to the list is Hugh Freeze was fired from Auburn. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 big programs that are all looking for new coaches, and there will probably be more. I'm here at coacheshotseat.com. It's a fun website. It lists coaches who are quote on the hot seat. It's right now they're saying that Jonathan Smith over at Michigan State is hot seat number 1. Then Loxley over at Maryland. Then Mike Norvell at Florida State. So Belichick's number 6. If people
didn't
care.
James Franklin recently? I don't know if it's official, but didn't he go into Virginia Tech?
I did not hear about that.
Official. I mean,
I saw some things about that.
Yeah, it's being talked about, and there's a lot of conversation. I think it's most likely, but it's not. There's nothing real official.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems a likely spot. The problem is, there's a few head coaches that are probably worthy of filling a lot of these spots, and that's it. So
it's interesting. You're going to see coordinators become head coaches that maybe wouldn't have normally done this. You're going to see guys who are doing well at like a lower level program, right? Like a smaller program from like the Sun Belt or something, move up, and then you're going to have some of these other guys move down, right? Because someone like I don't know, William and Mary is going to be like, yeah, we're going to hire this guy. Like, I don't know. So,
well, for like basically the number of air quotes qualified coaches is not as many as the positions that are open. So,
well, it's also like way more cutthroat, right? Like,
100%. But what I'm saying is, like, James Franklin's in a great spot because even though the Penn State story is well known, no big games, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, he got Penn State to a place they hadn't been in a long time.
Yeah.
Similarly to what Brian Kelly did for Notre Dame. Comparable, yes. But he's in a position where he has proven he can do it and put a program at a level they may not have been in a very long time.
Yeah.
He may be better suited just waiting for this all to play out, and then he can damn near pick where he wants to go and probably get paid very handsomely to do it. The other guy that's in that position is Lane Kiffin. And after that, it's kind of what fits, what doesn't, etc. But there's just not enough guys that are qualified to coach at all these places outside, like you said, Joe. You're going to start going the coordinator route and see what happens.
Yeah.
See if he's the right guy or not.
I've got up here on the YouTube channel right now. There was a tab in the spreadsheet. I call it BCS Bowls. It was something that was bothering me back in the day, how Notre Dame, specifically Brian Kelly, was not winning New Year's Six bowls. And so I list every year going all the way back to 2010, since when he was hired, every coach and every team that won every single New Year's Six win. So Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl. And then if they were active coaches still, that is being kept. Now, Franklin obviously isn't active anymore, so this is, at the end of last season. Franklin is the highest guy. He has 4 New Year's Six wins under his belt, and he was fired from Penn State. There's only 3 active coaches still at their respective programs that have more New Year's Sixes. That's Dabo Swinney, Kirby Smart, and Ryan Day. Okay. The next guy who's active that has 2 wins at said program is actually Marcus Freeman. Okay. Because Mike Gundy was fired. Okay. But all these other guys with 1 win, Mario Cristobal, Dave Aranda, Dan Lanning, Hugh Freeze was fired. Lincoln Riley, Matt Campbell, Sonny Dykes, Willie Fritz, Josh Hupel, Lane Kiffin, Kellen DeBoer, and Sark. All those guys all have 1 New Year's Six under their belt. So, very interesting. Very interesting. So, how there's only a handful of guys that have proven to like that are in the elite camp, and so with Franklin being fired, and Dabo not looking so good right now with the trajectory of that program, that means Kirby Smart is at the top with 8. He also has 2 titles. Ryan Day's got 5, including 1 title. That means Marcus Freeman is 3rd. No, he's got 2, but Dabo is 8. So like we'll give him some. So Marcus is just off the podium of active coaches with multiple New Year's Six wins. I think it's crazy. I just think it's interesting. So
it's nuts because if like the guys you mentioned, like Freeman and Day and Smart and guys you would think like, oh man, that's a huge name.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to leave their current situation. There is 0 reason to do so.
No.
That's why this coaching carousel is going to be, as you said, Joe, it's going to be crazy.
Well, and I said this last week. It was like people at work were like, "Oh, aren't you worried Marcus Freeman's going to leave Notre Dame?" I'm like, "No." On a family standpoint, he's got like 5 kids. They're all getting settled in, right? Granger's a nice place to live. Notre Dame's treating him well, I imagine. You have to really not like your situation to not want to be there, and I don't get that impression. Number one. Number two, you've spent all this time and effort to build something where you're at now. And you leave, you have to kind of start over a little bit with that, with recruiting, with getting used to the fan base and the administration and the new coach. Like, it's not turnkey. It can be, but it takes a couple of years to kind of get that started, Like, there has to be a clear, like, delineation, like, okay, we've done what we've done here, now let's move on to the next thing. Like, I don't think that's where Marcus Freeman is right now, and certainly not where Kirby Smart or Ryan Day's going to be at. Anyway. It's exciting stuff. Ryan Fravel, you don't have to raise your hand, man. You jump on anytime you want. You are so polite.
What's up, man? How are you doing tonight?
Dude, we're doing great. It's an exciting night. The road to the playoffs is before us. That is what we've titled this show tonight. What's up, man? How you doing? You're invited anytime, man.
Doing well, man. It's nice seeing all the Notre Dame haters all out in full force, and, licking their tears up. It's hilarious right now because everybody's like, oh, you guys should be behind Miami. You guys should be behind Oklahoma and Texas.
Okay.
And what I tried to explain to people is I've tried explaining this to Texas fans. You guys shouldn't be ahead of Notre Dame for one single thing. You lost by 2 scores to a horrifically bad Florida team. Yes, you have 2 top 16 wins. But in my opinion, what the committee told teams today is, cool, you can have good wins, but we're going to punish you significantly for losing to bad teams.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be. If you so what? You have a couple wins against good teams. If you lose against a team you have no business losing to, you should be punished, and that should kind of cancel itself out, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's interesting, I think, the timing of when those losses happen. Like with respect to Miami, their losses are way more recently than ours. Okay. Ours are back-to-back, bang, bang, and they're 1 score. And they emphasize this multiple times. It was kind of weird hearing ESPN, kind of boost Notre Dame up. It's like, they said multiple times Notre Dame lost on the last play. And I'm like, was it really like that? Because it didn't feel that way, and maybe we're just too close to the sun as Notre Dame fans because we're like, no, we should have curb stomped them, but maybe, I don't know. But I just go with the recency bias, And
also, and I have some buddies of mine that are Miami fans, and they're obviously pissed right now. And I've talked to them, and I'm like, hey, we're not going to agree. But here's my thing. I told them, I'm like, if you guys would have lost to 2 ranked teams like Notre Dame did, and you lost 1-score games, then I could see the argument for, okay, maybe Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame, right? The problem is you didn't lose to 2 ranked opponents. You lost to 1 ranked opponent who, to be honest, I still don't know how good Louisville is. And you lost to a bad SMU team that
they lost in overtime to an unranked, not good SMU team on the road. Okay. And that was last week. That was 4 days ago. Okay. So it's recency bias. And then with respect to Louisville, they looked terrible in that game, turning the ball over, all this and that. They did not look like a good football team.
Yeah.
They played sloppy.
When I've talked to some of these guys, I'm like, what did you guys expect? Did you really expect, if the committee has Miami at 18, for them to drop Notre Dame all the way to 19? They were never going to do that.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Heather Dinich said, which was the Miami loss and the difference in Notre Dame has a better strength of schedule. Notre Dame has a better strength of record.
They do.
Notre Dame has better losses. The only thing that Miami has on Notre Dame is the head-to-head.
Yep.
The problem is the other 3 factors have widened the gap so much that the head-to-head becomes irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a very good point, and it's hard for people to understand that.
Yeah, well, like, look at last year. Like, look at Ohio State, the national champion, right? They lost to Michigan, a not good Michigan team, and I think that was a home game for them, right? So, like, they lost. Ohio State lost at home to Michigan, if memory serves me right. And what did they do? They picked themselves up off the mat. They beat whoever they had, at home, and then they go and piss the whip Oregon in the in the fucking Rose Bowl. Okay, like, that was a completely different football team after that loss to Michigan. Okay, so it's like did it matter? I mean, it didn't really hurt Ohio State because they still made the playoffs, right? And now they got the hardware in the trophy case. You know what I'm saying? Which sucks, but that's what they did. So the recency bias and the in aggregate how you're performing as a team, I think, matters.
Yeah, and I think you have to understand that week 1 games, it's great to have Notre Dame, Miami. It's great to have Texas, Ohio State. It's great to have those huge matchups. But you also got to understand what those teams are week 1 is probably going to be what they are at their worst stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Like, they are only going to get better. And the Miami team and the Notre Dame team that took the field August 31st in Hard Rock are not the same Notre Dame and Miami teams that are playing right now.
No.
Those are two completely different teams going
agree.
two completely different ways. And I think people they have a hard time. And I think the game should matter, right? If Notre Dame Miami played 2 weeks ago and Notre Dame lost, cool. Put Miami ahead. The problem is that happened week 1. Notre Dame had a bad defense early in the season. They had a new DC, a freshman quarterback starting for the first time on the road in a hostile environment.
Yep.
And it's crazy to call Hard Rock hostile, but it only gets hostile when they play Notre Dame.
That is correct, 100%.
And Notre Dame, in my opinion, played their C-plus game, maybe. And Miami needed a late game field goal to beat that Notre Dame team.
Right. Yeah.
I think if that game's played again, Notre Dame wins. And it's the same thing with like A&M, right? I think Notre Dame's a completely different team than what went on the field against A&M.
A&M doesn't score 40 fucking points. I will say that.
Yeah, that's true. And the Louisville fans, I've never had a fan base so annoying that football is not their main sport outside of Indiana fans. But them using this transitive property logic where, well, we beat Miami at Miami, so we should be ahead. I'm like, if you want to play the transitive property game, we can do that. You guys lost to Virginia. Virginia lost to NC State.
Yeah.
What did Notre Dame do to NC State?
Beat them up.
Exactly. So you can do the transitive properties, but when they do those transitive property metrics, they only do it to a certain point to where it benefits them.
See, this is why I like Sagarin, because it's all math and statistics, and it weighs recent games better. It's your strength of schedule. It's your margin of victory. It's your margin of defeat. All these things kind of play into it, right? So well done, Jeff Sagarin. And at one point, it was part of the BCS computers, right? Say what you want about that. Virginia and Sagarin is 34. Okay, Miami, they're actually okay. They're 10. Who was the other team you met? Oh, Louisville. Yeah. Louisville's 22. Okay. But Louisville's got a strength of schedule of 51. Miami, okay, their strength of schedule is 14, so it's not bad. Notre Dame's 13th strength of schedule, but Notre Dame's 6th in Sagarin. Okay? With 2 losses. Yeah. All right. Texas is 9. Okay. With a strength of schedule of 15. Okay, so some kudos there. Yeah, it's really interesting to see how this thing shapes up, and it's going to change because these teams are going to play each other.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we get caught up in the people that. Because there are some people that I really respect in the college football media scene that are also kind of not understanding why Notre Dame is ranked as high as they are. And to me, it's frustrating because to me, it's clear. What is the job of the College Football Playoff Committee? To rank the best 12 teams.
Best teams.
Right? Yes. It's not most deserving. When you see the ESPN title card for the CFP, it doesn't say ranking the most deserving teams in college football. It's the best teams.
Yeah.
And I think there's a problem where people get caught up in that, and all they look at is resume. And that's all they look at. They don't actually pay attention to anything else but that.
Yeah.
And that's where I think people get caught up.
I mean, I think a sleeper team. If we want to pick a sleeper of a team that could make the playoffs here, it's Utah, because Utah is going to keep doing their thing. They're going to keep climbing. They've got a good head coach, right? And if they get to that Big 12 championship game, we'll see how it goes. I mean, they lost to Texas Tech and BYU, which is unfortunate. But that's the one sleeper team that I think could potentially sneak in there. You'd probably need like BYU or Texas Tech to crater. So we'll see.
Which BYU has a pretty rough stretch to end the year. I think they got Texas Tech this weekend. They got ECU,
then
and
TCU,
then they play
Cincinnati. And UCF.
Yeah. Like those, besides UCF, like those three, TCU is not a guaranteed win. That team,
no,
it's weird. TCU is one of those teams that are so up and down. One week they can upset you, and the next week they can lose to a bad
that's
team.
Typical Big 12, right? Like how many times? Like who was it? Baylor, like a mid-level Baylor team beat Kansas State in 2012, right, and knocked them out.
Yeah.
And let Notre Dame, jump into number one, right? Like who was it? Oregon and Kansas State both lost the same night, right? And then Notre Dame's ranked number one when we play USC in 2012. Like that kind of stuff happens. Okay, now things are a little different now with this playoff format, but the point is anything can happen on a Saturday in college football. It's great. Luis has his hand up. High five, brother. What's up?
What I like to know is all of a sudden everybody's starting to pop up, and when things were rough, people went MIA. This is what I tell you guys. Sometimes it pisses me off because we stand with Notre Dame, win or lose. And now that things are starting to head our way, people starting to come out of the woodwork and I'll talk all this stuff, and I do have a problem with that.
I mean, that's like IU fans right there. You know what I'm saying? Like they just learned, hey, we have a college football team, right? Now respect to IU, they're playing well. But are you saying like Notre Dame fans, Luis, or?
Yeah, bro. Like all of a sudden they want to come out here with analogies and all that, bro. What the hell was that when things got rough?
I mean, I was complaining when things were rough. I will say that.
No, not you.
But I was.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about, man. We got to stick with our team through thick and thin, no matter when things get tough and all that. I don't let no one speak on Notre Dame, and I'm not going to let that happen now.
Now, I will say this, Luis, this is a good segue here because I wanted to talk about tough times. This game that we just played against Boston College was a little rough. Did not like it one bit. I will say this. We won the game, so hooray. But what's interesting is, we left the game with a bad taste in our mouth. Yes, we won by 2 scores, 15 points. Okay, cool. But the way it happened was crazy. Being tied 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, no one felt good about that, right? It was 12-7 at halftime. What a weird, ugly score. However, fortunately, the consistency thing with Notre Dame is their defense limiting the opponents in the second half completely. So it's why we beat USC. It's why we're dominating teams that we are literally pulling away, and the other team can do nothing as far as points on the scoreboard. I haven't felt this bad about a Boston College game since 2015, and I am wearing the 2015 shirt tonight. And so I felt it appropriate to compare that shit fest of a game to the game we just watched on Saturday. 2015 Shamrock Series at Fenway, if people recall this. I mean, that game was such a circus. Number one, it's a baseball stadium. Don't get me started about that. Yes, I'm wearing the Dodgers hat, right? But I'm giving my propers to the World Series champions, back-to-back World Series champions. But like the lights aren't oriented, so like Will Fuller's like looking into the left field lights as he's trying to catch a pass. Give me a break. Both teams were sharing a sideline. Do people remember that nonsense? Are you guys cool with this? Absolutely. Show must go on. Like what a circus that was, you know? I mean the location is cool. Boston is cool. I like I don't really care for the Celtics a whole lot, but the point is like the location is cool, but it's a baseball stadium. Like go play in Gillette or something. And you could still be in Boston-ish, like it's technically not, but you get my point. But like seriously, Notre Dame wins that 2015 Shamrock Series game 19-16. Okay, we win by 3 points. We ran the ball 45%. Versus 52% on Saturday. Deshaun Kaiser threw 2 passing touchdowns. Hooray. Hey, we had 2 passing touchdowns this week. Isn't that great? But we had 0 rushing touchdowns with CJ Prosise in 2015. We only had 123 rushing yards in that game versus our 159. Now, Grant, we already talked about take away the Jeremiah Love 94 one. Okay, but hey, this is what happened, so we have to be honest here. Boston College ran for 211 yards against Notre Dame in 2015. We limited them to 12. Okay, so awesome. Yards per carry was worse in 2015. Passing yards was better, but we did manage to actually have more yard points than we did in 2015. We had 458 this past weekend. 10 years ago, 448. Our completion percentage was better, but here's the kicker. We had 5, no pun intended, 5 turnovers in 2015, 3 interceptions by Kaiser, 2 fumbles. We just had the 1 turnover by Price, and we're bitching about that earlier in the show here. No points in the second quarter. We didn't have any points in the first quarter, but we allowed Boston College to come back and score 13 points in the fourth quarter against us. Our yards per point was actually worse than Boston College. We had yards per point of 23.5. Boston College was actually 18.9 in that 2015 game. So why did I bring this up? People are upset about this game last week, I think in our group chat it was something like, okay, I'll give this like a C, or this was our worst performance of the year, what have you, and that's fair as far as wins are concerned, right? We just did not look like a complete football team, kicking aside, and I was like, this smells so much like 2015, but it's not as bad as 2015 where we like eking out a win. And not to mention, I hated those Gumby green with the weird stripes. I did not like those jerseys, I'll be honest, okay? And then Jalen Smith wears the sleeve on his arm, in the bowl game, and then he gets injured, right? So I blame the shitty uniforms. So Under Armour do better. That's not why he got injured. He got injured because he got his leg rolled up or whatever. But the point is, I wanted to compare that. I wanted that to be the stat piece of the week, because it's like, okay, let's go back 10 years. How did we do against Boston College in another kind of shitty performance that we still won? It wasn't shitty, but that 2015 game was a complete disaster. So
I hate to interrupt, but
you can.
We have to get on the road at 5 a.m. to head to Notre Dame.
Oh!
Are you going to the game?
Yes, I will be at the Navy game with my family.
Same here. I'm heading down Friday.
All right.
We're heading up. We're actually staying in Stevensville, Michigan, 45 minutes out.
That's not bad.
Where's
No,
that?
like
I have to Google
hotel
map
wise, it's like right by the lake. I found that hotel through my state discount website for like $75 a night every night. So
this. Stevensville.
Stevensville, Michigan, yes.
Man, I love that. We've had what 3 night games at home this year. Notre Dame at night is just something special.
And there's a possibility of snow Saturday night now.
Is there really?
Blizzard game?
Somebody
Please.
possibly. It may rain some here and there Saturday, but it could get down as low as like 32, 33 degrees.
Maybe Mrs. Officer per CGN will like the snow, and she'll be like, I could do this.
She doesn't care for the snow, but me and the kids love it. So
yeah,
I'm all for it. I could deal with like 10 inches and I'd be happy. Because then I'm stuck in South Bend for another day or two. So
it's facts right there. Coldest I've ever been is in South Bend at Notre Dame. Walking to my car. I think the same with the doc.
Ryan, if you'll be there, hit me up because we'll be on campus like majority of the day Thursday, and we'll be here and there, depending on the weather Friday. And we'll be tailgating all day Saturday. So just hit me up. We'll try to meet up or something.
All right. Well, I dropped you a follow, and I'll make sure I'll do that.
Awesome.
Hey, all I know is y'all stop by JTL's spot, my boy.
Yes.
It's a hell of fun there, bro. I'm telling you guys right now, like every time I go to South Bend, I've only been there 2 times. I act like I've been there all the time. That's not true. I'm not trying to act like I know it all. No, I don't. But I will tell you one thing: just how Dr. Abby and everybody are there, like JTL.
I had Dr.
Tim.
Abby's walk at music ready to go. We sent her the invite. She didn't do it, but Chief of Staff is like just coming in, make sure everything's good. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like just their hospitality, their love, their caring, like just the welcoming that make you feel like, and it ain't just some of us, it's all of them, It's a beautiful feeling, and I think that's what makes Notre Dame very special. And then, and even my boy 5'0", bro, like when he reached, like I reached out with him the other day, like man, just the way this whole community is, guys, and it's like let's keep it like that, let's keep it going, let's make it, let's let newcomers come in, feel welcome, and make them feel special, and I'm sure why we are Notre Dame.
Dude, that's why I feel kind of bad that it's taken me this long this season to get to a Notre Dame game, because typically I've went to at least 2 by now. But
yeah, I'm mad at you, Ryan. I was down the street from you. I'm mad at you. I don't want to hear your shit right now, bro.
I thought you went to the game in Hard Rock.
Yeah, I made the decision to, because when I was looking, I typically try to go to 3 or 4 games a year. I was like, you know what? I really want to go to Hard Rock. I've never been there. And then I was like, Arkansas would be a nice place to see. So I went to that one. And the home slate wasn't too like enticing this year outside of USC and A&M. And ticket prices for those were like insane. So like,
I'll come to Boise. We were at Boise.
I should have. But I'll be at the Navy and Syracuse games this year.
Okay.
I'm sad because I was hoping that Steve, was healthy and we would have got to see him in his return. But
I know.
Things need to line up.
I am bummed that Angeli, would have probably been one of the few, if not only, transfer out of Notre Dame to actually be successful and flourish in their new environment. Okay, that doesn't mean he was bad at Notre Dame. It just means that he did well at Syracuse. And when he got injured, I definitely felt bad for him. So,
I mean, he was leading the nation in touchdowns, yards.
I don't remember at the time, but yeah, it would take some heavy research to go look that up now. But no, I'm with you. He was doing very well, and being the guy that we always knew he could be, and he ended up at a program that was allowing him to flourish and thrive. So I feel a little bad for Angeli, because I think that would have definitely made the Syracuse game a lot more interesting. than where it is now, just because of the connection of our former quarterback, who is responsible for a lot of success with our football team. Well, Coach Arapar Sejan, you have a safe trip. The good news is that per teamrankings.com, Notre Dame is a 98.3% likelihood chance of winning. The spread, when I checked earlier today, was 26.5 points in Notre Dame's favor, which is always nice to see. And statistically, we'll see. I mean, it's Navy. We'll see if Chris Ash can. Has Chris Ash ever coached against the Naval Academy? I don't know.
He has never coached against a triple option team in his career.
We may be screwed.
We shouldn't be, because if he has any brain, or if Marcus Freeman is who he is, he's gonna say, "Hey, listen, asshole. We just played against Navy. A lot of these players have played against Navy. We're gonna tell you what the fuck we're gonna do, and we're gonna beat them." How does that sound?
Yeah, that does sound nice. Just the time of possession thing bothers me, right? Notre Dame goes 3 and out because we try to get cute, and then Navy will hold the ball for 7 minutes, kind of like how Boston College did to start the third quarter.
Oh, it's gonna be the BC third quarter on steroids.
Yeah, it will be. Notre Dame is still projected to finish out the regular season 10-2, 73.3% likelihood of that happening. So all signs are green for the Irish moving forward. Unless anyone else has got anything going on, we'll leave it to the floor.
The real question I would have is, like, depending on, because we were kind of talking about this, and our group chat was like, if Notre Dame makes the playoff, which they still got to win out, 4 more games in the season. If they went out, make the playoff, depending on, because it's crazy to think that there's still a possibility we could host. I still think that's probably unlikely.
I think it's more likely too.
We don't. But even if it is an away game, man, the possibilities of going to an away game for Notre Dame playoff game, like if we telling me we go into Oxford, Mississippi, that would be a huge matchup, and I would love to go to Oxford.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, like, even though and it's going to change, but the bracket that came out today, playing in Provo, Notre Dame, BYU, that would be with the history of that series. Like, man, it's so great to have college football and have a playoff, man. We are absolutely spoiled as college football fans.
It's exciting. I really appreciate the committee making the first round, in college stadiums, in a home game for somebody, right? I think that makes it so much better than having a neutral site, and then going and having the New Year's Sixes be those, the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and then the Natty is wherever it is. So it's exciting times. It's a good time to be an Irish fan. And, hey, we just got to keep winning. We are on the road to the playoffs here. And this is what we're going to do. So we got a one step in front of us. That's the midshipman of Navy. Don't fly too close to the sun, but pull the air brake. But if you get too close, switch from missiles to guns. That's all I got, man. Unless anyone's got anything else, but we're going to ride out with some Kenny Loggins here. Playoffs. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. I am Joe at Faithful_Irish on the X, proudly part of Those Leprechauns Media. Thank you to everyone who has watched us on the YouTube channel, people, our friends on Facebook, and our friends on X. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. And thank you to my wife for actually listening in this whole time. Or maybe she turned it on and fell asleep. Who knows? Love you, honey. All right. Go Irish. Beat midshipmen.